All right. So welcome to the webinar. What we're going to be doing today, it's me, John, and David from Expando, who will do his own introduction shortly. And yeah, great to have you here today, David.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's great to be here. So I'm just going to throw up a couple of slides and then we're going to get into it. So if you didn't know where you were, this is where you are. So what we're going to be learning today, first, we're going to have David. David is going to be going through a presentation on e-commerce opportunities in Europe. I've seen the presentation, some really good data points, which is what I'm excited about. And I love data and seeing, how things are growing and which marketplaces and where we should be selling. After that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Seller Candy and tell a couple of war stories of stuff we've dealt with in Europe and Amazon. I'm just going to be doing a few minutes of that at the end. And then we're going to go into the Q&A and chat. So if you have any questions, please do drop them in the chat. I'll also be asking stupid questions throughout. So David, if you can humor me, that'll be awesome. And then at the end, we'll do the Q&A. Yeah. Just because David's going to introduce himself in a second. Yeah, who am I? I'm John. Just to know who I am. If you come here through a different network that isn't Seller Candies, I founded Seller Candy 4.5 years ago. We've served over 500 clients. Before that, I was a seller as well, selling on Amazon Europe. Mostly, we sold supplements. And we sold on Europe before Pan-European FBA was out. So it was a big mess of VAT and shipping and all of that stuff. Since then, we've done a lot of consulting. I've run Amazon business for the last 9 years now. And then recently we launched Refundify, which is an Amazon reimbursement service, software as a service. So if you don't have a reimbursement provider, check out refundify.io because there's my shameless plug for getting us new clients. So over to David. So I know David's got an amazing presentation, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and pass you over to him.
Thank you for having me once again. Saying hi to, wherever you are, Greece or US or Czech Republic, doesn't matter. I'm David. I'm from a company called Expando, which means to expand in Spanish, but that's all we have in common in Spain. We just like the word. That's all. I'm from a very small country, which is Czech Republic. You will probably know our capital, my city of Prague, because a lot of people are coming here just to spend vacation and, drink a cheap beer. That's what we, well known for. Our country is like size of Virginia for you. In size or number of inhabitants, that's pretty much same as Virginia. So, and it's very like small country next to Germany. So yeah, that's where we are. So we are a country which our domestic market is pretty small. So we need to expand. That's what we do. So we helping brands all around Europe to expand on other marketplaces and other catalogs of the Amazon markets. Let's straight jump into it. We are proudly among the top 5 Amazon European agencies. We discovered 2 years ago that Amazon messaged us, the guys, you are platinum agency, top 10, and right now top 5. And we've been like, what's that? And then we get, the criteria. You're bringing us a lot of revenue, so you are among the top. So we've been, okay, sounds cool. So we got some confidence that we're doing good job. Even we are from a country which we don't have Amazon over here. I would love to have it, but, no Amazon over here. We represent right now over 130 sellers, and we sell pretty much everything you can imagine, from the yellow duck, which you put into the bath, up to vinery racks for $10,000 each, and everything in between. So I would say we really sold pretty much everything which is legal, and some stuff which is edgy, but let's talk about it another time. We have experience with most European platforms. Some of them you don't even recognize, I would say. Amazon, eBay, but all other are super local platforms. I'm going to talk about it very briefly, shortly. If you expand to Europe, you should know them. But Amazon is even here number 1, by far the biggest animal and the most important channel over here. Those other ones are for if you're experienced enough and you want to go deeper and deeper into the each individual country, you should know those platforms. But Amazon number 1, even for us, 80% of the revenue, more than 80%, comes from Amazon. So it's still the biggest animal in the zoo over here. And Amazon, for all of you selling on Amazon US, here's the comparison of the size. It looks it looks small, Europe, but here's the point. There's 2/3 of the Amazon is in US, Amazon.com. And then let's say another 20% can be the Europe, the EU, and UK, which now UK is separated since Brexit a few years ago. It's different entity, different market. Unfortunately for us, things get more complicated to Brexit, but whatever. So the market seems pretty small over here. However, I will show you some stats that doesn't mean you will have just 20% more more orders than US. You can get much more since the competition over here is also a bit lower. So it's a huge advantage for all of you from US or around the world who want to expand to Europe. One thing that need to be mentioned, out of the 72 billion that Amazon does in EU, more than half is Germany. So if you start with Germany and then you go UK, you can like 80% of the work is done, something like that. So Amazon is here like 8 countries, but Germany is like by far the biggest. You know, here you can see the proportions of the countries where Amazon is in Europe and some comparison with the world. As you can see, the last 4, the Netherlands, Sweden, Poland, and Belgium, super tiny, small. Amazon is not even pushing on those markets. They are just like launched the marketplace and just, you know, grow from the name of the brand. I wouldn't say even invest. So it's super small markets. I would say ignore them within the first year. You can eventually will sell there something, but not worth actually optimizing. Just focus on the UK, Germany, and maybe some other marketplaces. So let's say the big 5. Amazon call it big European 5. That's Germany, UK, France, Italy, and Spain. And for 10 years, it was the only markets where Amazon was. And within the last few years, they add some other markets, but you know, we're super small. If you want a comparison, when I was talking about the Europe, that Amazon is the biggest one, the biggest animal, here is the comparison of the revenue that Amazon is generating and actually was selling the goods for in Europe. And when I started 2017, we were talking about the expansion. Amazon and eBay was pretty much same, pretty much equal. Right now, as you can see, a big difference. You know, Amazon leading the way, and all other platforms are mostly local. As you can see, I also put there some flags. So Allegro is, you know, Polish Amazon, let's put it that way. Bol is the Netherlands #1. Cdiscount is #3 in France, and so on. So they're local champions, since it's like more diverse, different, you know, currency laws, VATs, languages. All European states have different platforms over here, but among everyone is Amazon over here. So if you want to catch the most in Europe, it's start with Amazon. All other platforms are also more complicated in the terms that you need to be local most of the time. You need to have local entity or something like that. So those platforms are usually not ready to get some US sellers. Sometimes yes, but usually no. And the effect is same as in US. People searching for products on Amazon mostly more than Google. Ratio is 2-1. There are some European countries even relatively stronger than in US. And for some unknown reason, and I don't know why, if someone knows the answer, let's have a chat about it. But Italians love Amazon the most. And I also saw the stats that during a Prime Day, for the one day, Amazon gained 95% of the market share. So basically everyone in Italy who got a phone or internet connection was shopping on Amazon in that small moment. So it was like even more popular than in US. So the effect is same everywhere. People just searching for products on Amazon. So if you're expanding to Europe, even with your brand store, whatever, you need to be on Amazon. Very easy. Here's what I was talking about, the competition. There are roughly half of Amazon seller accounts in Europe, but this is a bit tricky because it counts each country. One seller can sell in 5 countries and it's in Scout 5 times over here. So there are many sellers having different entities in different countries. So from just my guess, the real number of like entities, like real sellers, will be like 1/3 maybe of this number or something like that. So we're not even talking about a million. It can be like 500,000, can be 300,000-400,000. I'm not sure about that, but the number is much smaller. But Amazon, you know, do not reveal those numbers. So it's just a guess estimation. Interesting numbers are also that there are less Chinese sellers over here. Since all the administrative stuff, all the VAT and whatever is there, for them it's much more complicated. And to adapt on the smaller countries, it's a big complication for them. And even for the US sellers, you know, in the end of the day. So they're like, the competition is much stronger locally. So in like Italy, you compete with the international sellers, but you compete with local sellers mostly. Same with Spain, same with Germany. So there are less the worldwide competition, which is usually the most aggressive one. So, you know, it's small market, but a bit easier, I would say.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And it's sometimes even surprised. I'm like, why this seller is just selling in Italy, just to opt for Spain? For them is right next to them. It's like super easy. No, they just like, don't know why. They just, you know, want just one country. Well, so there are only 8% of the US sellers selling in EU. And when John, you've been talking about that you used to use pan-European, the highest level of FBA, which I will show, in a moment. There are only 2% of Amazon US sellers selling with pan-European program. So there's most of the sellers ignore it, I would say. And I will try to demonstrate it's not that difficult. It's a bit difficult, but not that much. Let's go into the details. What do you need to get to be registered in Europe? There are some seller account requirements which are different from the US. You need to have the identity of the owner, which is usually the driving license or a passport. Then you need to have the proof of address, which is pretty much the same in US. Some documents from the entity and proof of address of the entity. Bank account statement, and then you're ready to go. So I would say there's no actual document which is problematic to get as a LLC or other company from US to get the account. The fun, quote unquote fun, starts after that when you wanna launch the sales. First of all, probably the biggest complication is the VAT. In US, you have sales tax, but Amazon takes care of it in most of the states, as far as I know. So you just put the sale price, and Amazon will add the sales tax based on the wherever the customer is. In Europe, each country have different rates of VAT. It's pretty much at 20%. In Germany, for example, is 19, but let's say it's pretty much 20% in every country. And you apply this VAT on a sale for this country, no matter where in what region of the state you are. It's just whole Germany, the same VAT for the except there's some exceptions, but no, let's put it aside. And you as a seller put the final price, and from the final price, the VAT is calculated. So it's not like you put the price and Amazon do it for you. It's like you put the final price and Amazon calculates the VAT from the final price. So and they also take a fee from the VAT. So that's a bit rip off, I would say. Yeah. So when you sell for 100, Amazon will say, "Oh, 20, it's VAT," and I take a 15. So it's even from the VAT. So their fee is a bit higher. They can squeeze more margin over here, but that's Amazon. So the VAT rates very different in every country. And you need to be registered for VAT if you use FBA. If you're not using FBA, you don't need to be registered for the local VAT. You use different system, but I would say there's 99% of you will use FBA. We use FBM from Europe to US and back, but it's difficult. It's very tiny proportion of the portfolio. It's worth doing that way. I'm gonna get to the VAT later when we will talk about FBA. And one thing you need to do is AORI number. It's the import number. So when you import stuff into EU or Great Britain, the UK, you need to have this number. It's when you import the import tax for the import. To get this number is free, and then there's some import tax when you sending your goods from US to the FBA to those particular countries. Usually the carrier takes care of it. So you just give them permission and they will take care of it, and you will just pay. To have it even more complicated, there is something called extended product responsibility, which is quite kind of new rule in Germany and in France soon, or it's already there, I'm not sure. So it's another administrative barrier. You need to opt in for some in some website. You opt in, you get a number, and it's just another tax. Let's put it that way. It's for the waste and some other stuff like that. So you pay quarterly or yearly, and it's another kind of barrier. We have it here because there's it's Europe, so there are taxes everywhere. And I'm going to talk about currency in a moment. Let's skip it for this moment. So to sum it up, easy to register, nothing different. Then there's the VAT, the import number, and the extended product responsibility. The three things mainly you need to be aware of, that they're different and you don't have them in the US. Now is the question about the FBA. Things get complicated over here. The FBA program over here, it's actually separate for each and an individual country. Europe and UK are different entities. And within Europe, there's there's even more, but let's put the small ones aside. There are 4 or 5 countries, and each individual has the FBA. To be able to store in some country, you need to have the local VAT. It's very important to know. So you can't send your goods to UK, Germany, Italy, wherever. without having the local VAT. So we need to have it. Now, there are three kind of different settings of the VAT, of the FBA in Europe. There's the EFN, the European Fulfillment Network, which is you just put one country. Let's say we start with Germany. You put in one country, you have Amazon FBA warehouse in Germany, and if order comes from Italy, Amazon will fulfill it from Germany, and they will charge you the local and also the cross-border fee. So your fulfillment fee will be higher. Then you can, adjust into the cross multi-country inventory, which is you have up to 2, 3, 5 inventories. It's usually, okay, your sales goes up in France, so you will get the French VAT, and you will, store some goods over there, so you will not pay the cross-border fulfillment fee, but just the local for the orders from the France. But for, let's say, Spain, you will still pay cross-border because you do not have the VAT over there. And the highest, as John, said, it's pan-European. What does that mean? You have all the VATs. It's 6 of them right now, 7 VATs in Europe, and then only then it starts to work as you get used to in US. You send goods somewhere, and Amazon does the magic, and move the packages where they want, where they see the demand, and then it actually starts like the magic, and then starts to show, because then you can feel the power of FBA. Until then, you still got the fulfillment fee is higher, and your shipping time is like plus 1 day because Amazon actually needs to fulfill it from a different country. So this is it. However, I wouldn't recommend it in the beginning. Just start with one country, Germany, and you can work yourself up to the other countries. Just you don't need to have pan-European on day one. You can start with Germany. Hope it's clear. It's pretty complicated over here, so I hope I think
it's clear, David. So what you're saying is you start with maybe EFN, then you go on to MCI, then you go on to pan-EU once you finally got all the numbers, especially the apply, as you said, getting the VAT numbers, like if you have to get one through Spain or something and they have to stamp it on a physical piece of paper, it's slow.
Yeah, and especially the authorities in Spain are super slow, No rush in Spain.
No rush in Spain. They print it out, put it in a pile.
Yes, that's it. Okay, and now it's the case called UK. The UK is no longer the EU, still the big one. If you look at this graph, you can see that half of the 35 billion is the UK. Germany is 40, so this pretty much the same size of the market. What's also interesting that after Brexit, most of the sellers, they dealt with Brexit that they just closed their UK account, because nobody knows the time what's going to happen. So there was the huge exodus of sellers out of the UK market, and it's not in the same rate right now after a few years. And a lot of our sellers they're not opt into UK because there's few steps, and they're no, I don't want to deal with that. So I can see it can be a huge opportunity because it's discrepancy between the market over there, I would say. And there's also the highest usage of FBAs in UK from, obvious reasons that the European sellers need to have a warehouse over there because their pan-European is no longer covers the UK. So for the UK, they're the same rules as I described. Local VAT to use it, but it do not belong to any program of this. It's just separate entity. So that's what makes it a bit more complicated over here. Now, let's talk about the currencies. You probably never experienced that, but Amazon actually will transfer you money in a currency where your bank account is located. Not a currency where your bank account would you administrative. What's actually the setting within your bank account? I'm not sure if I can describe it right, but they actually look at the number, what the number of the bank account starts with. And so in the US, it's pretty easy. It's just USD bank, you have it on the bank account. But in Europe, most of the countries use euros, UK use pounds, but there are some small countries over here which use Swedish crowns or Polish zloty. You'll probably not get much sales there in that currency, but you will some. So be careful about those bank accounts, because Amazon will actually, if they see you have, let's say, the US account for your UK sales, your sales which comes in the British pounds, they will transfer it to dollars and send it to your bank account. And now, if you let Amazon do the transfer, the exchange rate, it's pretty shitty. Let me put it that way. Our record is 8% loss on the currency exchange, and I heard about the seller who lost 12. It's from Poland, so they need to transfer it to their local currency, like 12%, which is like huge. And when you exchange from dollars to euros, it's probably not that dramatic, but it's still there's some loss. So much easier is I have plenty of services, and I think John knows plenty of services which can help you with that. They will give you a virtual account, and they actually their rates is much friendlier than Amazon. So do not let Amazon do the exchange for you, because no, not really.
No, it used to be.
And as I said, there's
in the past it was 3.5 and around 2.7, but those services will go down to like 0.8 to 0.5% these days, or you can pay your suppliers directly and hold the currency.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's like everything which is more than like half of the percent is huge ripoff, I would say. Okay, so that's that. And as I said, there's like kind of unequal distribution because the competition in UK is a little bit different than in EU, because not everyone wants to bother with, as me as a European seller, we need to have the VAT and we need to have the EURI number and everything again. So it's not like it's Europe, it's just different entities since the Brexit. So yeah, so there's different kind of competition. Not everyone opts in for the UK.
But they should.
Yes, they should. And here's like the special offer for you guys who are watching it or right now live. To be honest, I would love to have the presentation full of US brands expanding to Europe, successful with us, but we don't have. So here's the point. We actually make a promise that we're going to work with you, no matter who you are, where you are, how big is the brand, we don't care about that. We're going to work with you until you get $10,000 sales in Europe. You pick the market, or all markets, it's up to you. We're going to work for you for free, period. And if you decided then to just, oh, thank you, and I'm going to take care of it after that by yourself, do it. If you're going to use us, better for us. But let's put it that way, because I more care about the success story, to share it, than about the profit right now. So if anyone is like preparing to go to Europe, hit me up, let me know. LinkedIn, email, whatever, there's form. I'm going to share my number as well. I can send you the whole list, what you need to do, where to get it, how to do it. And if you need some help, let me know. Here is my contact number, email, telephone, WhatsApp. LinkedIn is actually, I'm pretty active there. So if you use it, let's follow there. So I hope I make it a little bit, it's easier now to understand. There are like 3 main things where you can stuck on the road. The rest is same. Amazon is same over here. Has some small differences, but you will not even notice that. So hope you like it. Hope it's clearer now. And if you have any questions, let's jump into them.
That was very, very cool. Thank you for sharing, David. And that's an amazing offer. Are there any terms and conditions on that offer? It's a great offer.
It is, but as I said, because we represent many brands like expanding from EU to US, but to be super honest, we don't do it like another way. And we would like to have the story about it and share it. So if someone is willing to share the story with us, I'm going to help him for free. That's like the at least we can do.
Love it. So yeah, I would definitely take up David on that. If you're interested in expanding, at least chat to him, because very rare that someone offers to work for you for free for several months. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. If I can ask you, what was the biggest hurdle when you were selling in Europe? Was there anyone?
So many hurdles selling in Europe. So I first sold in Europe before PanEU existed. So it was understanding VAT requirements, shipping inventory between markets, all of the nuance, which you don't need to go into on this, and doesn't matter to the people watching. But like the fact I used to sell supplements, and supplements can't be part of PanEU because they have expiration dates and tracking expiration dates across 8 marketplaces through spreadsheets was a pain. But we ranked number 1 in like Italy and a few other countries because they're nowhere near as competitive. You needed like 50 reviews to be number 1 in Italy, which was amazing. Whereas in the US, it was like not 50,000, but maybe 12,000 reviews for our products. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the success story. I know I was watching this and thinking of expanding. Yes, you can make a lot of money in Europe, and I've made more profit in Europe than I have in the US. Maybe I've had more instant success in the US. Like we did 100K in our first 15 days of a product launch once in the US. but then that product went on to make almost no money. So, you know, you can sell $1 million and make $20.
Yeah, and wow, that's a good one. But right now it's like a bit easier since Amazon finally they actually share the reviews. So your reviews
Awesome.
from US, you can use them in they will translate it, you know, automatically, and you can use them. So you're not, because back in the days what you were talking about, it was like you need to start from scratch. So you launch your products in Italy, and then you launch it in Germany, and you launch it in the US. And was like from, you know, rank number 1 million, and you know, you start a game all over again.
Yeah, I mean, it was very frustrating, but at the same time, it was a massive edge because nobody else was doing it. So we, you know, back in the days that you could game reviews slightly on more ethical giveaways and things like that, pre-2018, 2019, that's when we made a lot of money doing that stuff in Europe because nobody else was doing it.
But it's still like 2%. As I said, 2% of the US sellers are pan-European. So let's say that 2% of the sellers like really putting some focus on Europe. 8% selling, but like it's, I would guess that they're in the UK because it speaks English, and the rest they ignore, maybe Germany, and the rest they ignore. But like 2%, so 1 in 50 actually, like, so it's a huge opportunity because usually the sellers from US, they're like, you know, they know everything. They're ahead of the market because the Amazon is here a bit like 1 or 2 years ahead is in US. So you know all the tools which we don't have even here. So yeah, the US sellers have some slight advantage because they are more like trained than we are.
Yeah, so I would, I would definitely be selling in Europe, especially do the research. So, you know, reach out to David, get his team to actually do the research of whether your products have, you know, low, medium, or high opportunity. Because back when we had an agency 3-4 years ago, that's what I would always say, you know, just do the research because if your product is an easy win, like just go for the market that's an easy win. Like maybe Germany is saturated because Germans love sausage and used to sell sausage makers. But in Italy, it's a completely underserved market. Like whatever's good for that market. I don't know, that's a good joke or not. But Germans do love sausage. I never knew that until I was studying abroad, and the Germans said they never knew it was so like that it was such a big thing until that they just have sausages as opposed to the thousand aisles they have in Germany of different types.
I heard about the factory in Germany that the employees went on a strike because they get rid of the sausage from the canteen. So
sounds more like French going on strike. So yeah, Europe has so much nuance, and that's why it's good to have a guide to go through that because, you know, each country has different people, different culture, they value different things. And we have a question, which I will pass over to you. So do you have any tips for managing the complexities of VAT compliance across different countries, David?
Yeah, we outsource it. We use 3 different services. There are many services that can help you with. Amazon has the list of them. So we outsource it to many different companies. Yeah, so I wouldn't do it by myself. We tried, by the way, to do it for our sellers. Like, but now, right now, after like so many years with this like new VAT regulations, it's pretty easy for those companies. By the way, there should be one, so hopefully, the one EU VAT. You're gonna have one VAT for every country. It's like, you know, people speaking about it for years. It should be, you know, last year, but it's, you know, not going to be even like this or maybe next year. But yeah, once there will be one VAT, you know, things get much easier. But right now, I would hire some specialists. Definitely, wouldn't do it by myself.
Yeah, as you said, it's just a question of going to Amazon service provider list, talk to a few of them. They are vastly different in pricing, some of them, and look at reviews as well. I mean, who do you like, David? We can name drop here. Don't say who you don't like. Who do you like?
I would say that for the most part, it's Hello Tax. I'm not sure if you all know them.
Yeah,
they're pretty active. So yeah, and then we have some local services over here, which, you know, some individuals that can do it. We used to use the Amazon recommends Avalara, or they do it by themselves as Amazon, but Avalara did like actual the work, and it was a disaster, to be honest. You know, we even paid a fine there because no one was actually filling the forms, but the rest of the companies was fine.
Yeah, that's great. That's good recommendations. Hello Tax. I also recommend Simply VAT, depending on their pricing. They used to be a bit expensive, but they were excellent. I was also with, I can trash talk these guys because they're out of business now. I was with VAT Global for a while. We got purchased by Z. And when they were VAT Global, they were terrible, awful. They overpaid 100,000 euros on my VAT, which so I got a nice bonus back recently. But still, like 100 grand I lost because I got the wrong supplier. So use the supplier and make sure they've got your VAT rate correct. So it's to be down 100K. Another question up. How long does it take before I can start selling in Europe on average? So I guess that means before thinking, oh, I want to sell, to be able to ship inventory.
Yeah, I would say like 2 months, maybe. It depends, yeah, as you said, depends on the administration, because like getting into the detail, like on average, you will get the VAT in like, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks, but it actually work. I'm not sure if that work it that way, but sometimes you apply, let's say January, so you will have it in February. When you apply February, you will have it in April. For some unknown reason, they work in a wave, or they maybe wait until some, number of the VAT, applications are, then they like start to work and something like that. So it's pretty weird. But let's say 2 months should be fine. It can be like 2 weeks sometimes, but to not like overhype it, I would say 1 to 2 months.
Good. Also, could you talk maybe a little bit about the order of that people should do things in? So should they open their account first, VAT first? Like what order should they do that in?
The VAT will it's the most time consuming. So I would start with that. Open the account. If you have active US account, that's like easiest matter of days usually. Then the import number is also pretty easy to get. And the extended product responsibility also lasts like a month. So I would say VAT, the extended product responsibility, then open the account and ship the products. That would be probably the order of things I would recommend.
Cool, that's great. So you were talking about the number of sellers. Well, I thought that was a super cool insight. I'd never seen that stat before, like 1.16 million accounts in Europe, but they calculate each country as a different account. That's a great stat.
Yeah.
Say 350K. Amazingly small number of sellers to serve. There's actually 700 million people are served by Amazon in Europe, as opposed to the 350 million that are served in the US. So double the population with like 1/7 the number of sellers.
Yes.
What's your view on What are your view on translations, like for each marketplace? Like, do you use any type of service? Do you use Amazon? Do you have team members that do it? What's your view?
We have team members to do it because Amazon will translate it for you with the global selling tools. But it's like some AI will just translate it automatically. So it's kind of beta version. So you can try it, just like for the first day, good, but I would optimize it as you optimize it in English. For the UK, optimize it for the UK because the words are different, the keywords are different than in US. Then start with the bigger markets, UK, Germany, France, and then other markets. I wouldn't spend so much time on those 4 small markets. Then even we sometimes use some AI tools just to have it there and know what is like optimizing it. But the big 5, I depends what you're selling. But if it's just FBA, like the mistake can be deadly in the conversion. So
nice, I agree. And when you're doing VAT now, is Amazon collecting VAT for you in every market now? Because they changed recently, haven't they? Some markets they collect VAT and they make you file a 0 return. So is Amazon collecting, or do you have to file yourself?
Both scenarios possible, but as I said, when it's back 3 years ago, and Amazon actually started with the services, and we've been probably one of the first to use it, and it ended up paying fine of $500 to Finanzmat in Chemnitz, which sounds awful just by the name, and it's like the financial whatever institution in Germany, because you opt in, you pay Amazon, and then nothing happens. So I rather use the third-party service. I have the contract with them, and I know what I'm using. Then because Amazon is I'm gonna do that, click, and that's it. And then you hoping that someone does that. So Amazon can collect it. Probably right now it's fine, but paying fine in past, we are okay, better not risk exciting time. And we have a good experience with those other third-party service providers, so we are fine with that.
Love it. Cool. Just to quickly share, because no more questions that come in. I know this will be a joint webinar between Expando and Seller Candy. So if you are interested in dealing with Amazon and you don't want to do it yourself, whether that's in Europe or in the US, that means dealing with seller support. So whether it's raising plans of action, doing flat files, raising cases, or just dealing with the headache of banging your head against the monitor to try and get seller support to do whatever you want them to actually do, then book a call with Kelly on our team to see if we're a good fit for you. So on that call, what Kelly does is just evaluate your business and see if you're doing enough volume and having enough issues to get value out of Seller Candy. And we don't replace you. We just act like your expert support arm who deal with seller support, because we have over 40 ex-Amazon seller support agents working for us, and we hire them from Amazon because Amazon's just as bad to work for as they are to deal with sometimes, depending on the job. Some of them pretty good. So yeah, if you're interested, there's a QR code and you can book a call with Kelly from our team. You can also check out sellercandy.com, where you can learn about our service and how we should help and support our clients. Look at Kelly.
By the way, do you see any difference in the sales support in US and Europe?
As long as you raise tickets in English, not particularly. As long as we're doing English tickets and raising them at the right times of day, we tend to get through to the same teams.
Okay.
China's the worst. Yeah, if anyone's got a Chinese account, that can be the most frustrating, because even if it's, it's a Chinese account selling in Europe, sometimes they escalate you to Chinese seller support, and their English sucks. Even if you've written it in English, they contact you and their English sucks. But if you get the Philippines or India or around Costa Rica, then it tends to be okay. So yeah, big fans. All right. Is there anything else that you want to share, David?
No, probably. I would say we have it all.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been great to partner with Seller Candy and Expando, and I hope we get to do things again in the future. And thanks to every single person that attended here. Go and check out David's offer. Please share this with your friends when you get the replay. And yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of the community between Seller Candy and Expando.
Thank you. Thank you. As we say, ahoy. You're in.
Ahoy. Ahoy means goodbye.
Yeah. Ahoy. It's like ciao or hello. But it's strange because we don't have any sea or ocean, but we say ahoy, which is usually like
exactly. So ahoy means like hello in pirate, doesn't it?
yeah, but no, I don't know. Weird.
Okay.
East Europe.
Ahoy there.
Weird things.
Ahoy. See you, everyone. Bye.